fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
I hope you're excited, ladies and gentlemen, because G7 is here. Now, you might have been watching the content, the streams past few weeks. We've been dropping some major hints, talking about Surge and new ships coming. Well, let's talk about what this actually means, going through the patch notes, providing what insights that I can to help you prepare. And if you are a G7 or G6 player planning to go to G7, please, I can encourage you not strongly enough to hit me up so that I can tell you if your plan is a good plan. As in, I don't want you to mess it up. So hit me up on Discord, Twitter, etc. But let's jump into it. Skipping that part. Access and progression notes. Here are the servers that will ascend as soon as we are done with maintenance, so that you will be able to go up past 70, up into 71 if you so choose, which you can see my server 710 is included in this list, as is server 20.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
No accounting for taste, am I right? Well, that means those players will be able to go for it. Here are the ones that cannot. Couple of changes I want to get into. Very easy to get slogged down in the slop that is this update, but Enter to G7 begins with the Vengeance. Now, I want to point this out for those watching. It's not pointed out here. People who went through the playtest and others have confirmed that you are able to do it with a high tier, say, Crenshaw, but the Vengeance is obviously going to be something that you've seen them pushing PvE on. Now, the long term, is the Vengeance your answer? No, sir. Getting those new ships will be the number one answer. But if you have a good Vengeance, you will use it. Shout out to Duke for server 31. Or if you want to use a high tier Crenshaw, Enterprise E, etc., you can do some of your grind with that. So HSMS, there's a new weekly event for the Vengeance unlock, as well as an upgrade event where you can see it's spending G6 and G7 materials. You have an XSLB, because who doesn't love those? Then you also have the Vengeance ASA XSLB, which is same server pairings, this time for PvP. All right, new features and content, the Veil and Margins. So the premise behind the Veil, we'll read through this here, is kind of having a trifected area of space that is region set, as in multiple people from different regions, similar to how arenas works. The best way I can describe G7 is if you took a lot of the aspects of arenas, waves, and even to a degree territories and made it into one its own unit. So in this shared cross-server Veil and 68 in the Margins, which behaves like normal expansion space, is limited to your server unless incursions are active. The Veil is where different realities collide. G7 players from multiple servers will enter this shared region to progress, to compete, and to cooperate. So regions will be sharing the Veil, whereas that entrance area with the expanse, the Margins, will be specific to your group. So inside, you'll find core progression, FKR hostiles, G7 mines, and Veil specific goals outside the SLBs and AOBs. Remember, all the systems will have all three types. So it won't be a Federation area, Klingon area, Romulan area. You'll find all three types in that area, which is important considering you've got Sigma faction credits now. Oh, you thought you were going to be able to use those old school faction credits. You thought wrong. No, sir. All right. Core progression, blah, blah, blah. We've already read through that. Veil shards, regional leaderboards, etc. But access the Veil via a floaty in the galaxy view. Think of it like a buoy. Seamlessly control ships across multiple servers, and recalling a ship always brings it home no matter where it is. Now, this has, from what I've been told, been tested thoroughly and works. Let me know if you're able to break it on day one if you choose to go into that area of space. But let's talk about Surge, because I actually do believe that Surge has the potential to be one of the best mechanics this game has seen, maybe ever. Surges are unstable spatial phenomenon tied to the anomaly at the heart of the Veil. Within them lurk Surge walkers, twisted beings from other dimensions. Think of it like zombie spaceships. Any G7 player can start a Surge by activating a hostile spawner in eligible systems. This, of course, does cost a currency. A 3-minute alliance activity will erupt where enemies spawn and grow stronger based on the alliance score. Any alliance member can join in to earn points until the timer expires. Rewards will then be set by the number of hostiles you kill. The G7 player who's starting gets a big multiplier based on how well the group does, and the more you kill, the better the rewards. I love this though, because this means that you as a lower level player immediately get to contribute to even something that is G7 content. In terms of design, I think this is great. Think of it like waves, but on steroids. Bring your entire alliance. Maybe that level 50 doesn't do that much, but they contribute and they score, and that helps them with their aggregation loop and such. So 3 minutes plus a 1 minute warm-up timer. If only a G7 player can trigger using Veil Shards, but anyone can join. Hostiles will spawn during the duration and grow stronger, as with waves, and then everyone earns rewards based on both total points and individual contribution. I personally really am excited to see this running. We'll try to have that tested out for y'all this week with videos for you to check out. So FKR extension, Sigma credit, and sub factions. Federation Klinger Romulan will extend with each having new ships. There's 9 new ships here, including a odd enterprise. I've been told reasons as to why we have this enterprise. We'll cover that in a later video. So the Forsaken is an offshoot formed by those who are not accepted within the Utopia, building a society to prove that they can thrive both to the Federation themselves. Order of Genmalden, a splinter group of the Zavash, seeking redemption by hunting the sins that inhabit the region. And finally, House Sov, an unorthodox Klingon house that values knowledge over military might. Keep in mind, this is alternate realities that we're in, which explains somewhat the ships that we're dealing with as well, because some of the ships look really, really odd. Really odd. G7 has over 200 new missions, and y'all can value that if you do skipping. So G7 introduces grade-specific resources. So you've got G4, ore, gas, and crystal. Uncommon, rare. Then you got broken ship parts, uncommon, and then faction-specific ship parts. Something to keep in mind. So new ships, you have the following new ships coming into the game. We've got a rare, you got a mining ship, the Aphelion, and then the rest are going to be based on the show itself, such as Stargazer, which is the only canon one jumping in, the USS Enterprise M414. Curious to see how they explain that one. Then you've got the IKS Grethor, Boreth, and the Akvot. And then, of course, the Admonition, the Snakehead, and the Pray for Taurus. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Romulan ships here, but oh well. G7 hostiles hit hard and emphasize secondary stats like Isolate and Apex. One of the more reasons I've been telling everybody to focus on these items, and you'll want those to have success here. Legacy officer adjustment. No new officer releases for this expansion, but you will notice some changes in caps for things like Gala, McCoy, Eurydice, both Muds, John Harrison, etc., to simply make them a little bit nerfed to what they're going to be facing. The Dauntless in the cube. The Dauntless is tuned for normal space, not G7, so it's going to be mostly focusing on you tearing it up to face on the mirror, for example. But there is your G7. Now, your regular villains patch notes really kind of just cover the stuff we've already have, like the quality of life changes, new missions coming, and here is the Dauntless ship, which we have discussed, the aggregation loop, which we have discussed, and last but certainly not least, the final new officer of this one, villain Gold Ducat. When attacking a station, he's going to increase your shots. I actually do like that ability. And then below decks is going to be another PvP ability. You have a few different neat things here, including the research tree for the Dauntless itself. But that's all you need to know. G7 is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm ready to get you all set up for it. If you're going to have questions, do as we always recommend. Drop the comments down below so that I can take care of them and answer them at my leisure. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Again, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Thank you for making my life amazing. Y'all are wonderful, and I'll catch you on the next one.